Welcome back to Volgarr the Viking. Now it's time to flip things over and take on the Path of the Valkyrie for level 3. And here we are. This looks kind of familiar. You can pretty much tell how this is going to play out, but first, let's get hit. So this first bit's pretty easy. You pretty much have seen this before. The only change is that the stairs are going the opposite direction, which doesn't really change anything at all, really. So now the terrain's going uphill a little bit, so it's going to try to trick you into slicing those zombies in half, but all you have to do is just watch where you're stepping and where you're slicing, and you should be fine. I wanted to see if I could spear Sergeant Crunch off the platform, but it didn't seem like it was doing anything, so that plan backfired. So there's a McStabby in the way, and the only way we can move him is charge up a spear and throw it at him, so that way it'll move him a little bit. But Hubert's got the best of me, and now we're shieldless. So I had to really consider my options here, and the only thing I could think of I could do is to do an action roll and get behind that sucker. Yeah, I'm making a lot of mistakes here, because I kind of recorded this pretty late at night. I was a little sleepy. I kept it anyway because I figured we can mix things up a little bit with minimalist Volgarr here. Can't always have every video turn out the same where I start out, strong and end up snowballing into, superpowered Viking dude. So we could go forward, but instead we're going to turn around and we're going to climb back up the side of this. I'm going to assume it's a destroyed bridge of some sort. So we're going to climb up this, and we're going to go from the top end instead of the bottom end. And you're going to want to go from the top end, because when you do that, you can drop down this hole here, and you'll only trigger one Sergeant Crunch. If you were to come from the other way, you would have triggered both of them. And I don't think anybody wants to deal with two Sergeant Crunches. It's tough enough to deal with one of them. So we're going to head back down and get the chest that I missed from not going from the bottom end, and probably get that treasure that's hanging up out there, because I can't help myself. One thing about the McStabby's behavior is that he doesn't really turn around once he starts moving, unless you're in proximity of him. So you can essentially trigger him and he'll probably just walk himself off a cliff if he can. So one of the big things about the second half of the Valkyrie level is that there's a lot of vertical sections in this half. A lot of vertical sections with blueberries spawning. And one thing the blueberries tend to do that I don't particularly like is that they'll try to spawn on top of the chain that you're on, which makes it so that you'll have to backtrack a little bit so that you can get rid of them. But other than that, all you have to do is just tread really carefully and, don't make any risky movements, and you should be fine. Gotta really get that spear on the exact pixel where the brick ends, so that way we can roll through it. It doesn't work if it's just a little off, which is kind of annoying, really. So what you could do is you can time that spear trap accordingly and throw spears and jump, up to that ledge there, but instead we're going to try something a little easier. We're going to start by throwing a spear in that top block there, and then we're going to come over here and throw a spear into that one block there and climb up to this platform here, and we're going to roll off and jump. Now I like to take a moment and just absorb what's going on here. So we got a skeleton that's just standing there that will send out a shockwave going to the left, and then we have a spear trap that's going to the right. So this is a really tough nut to crack. So the key to this puzzle is that you need to keep track of the latest extended spear, and you need to follow it. So that way when the skeleton shoots out a shockwave, by the time that you hit jump, the spear is already retracted and you won't get hit. And that's a really big headache, and you're probably wondering, is there an easier way to handle this situation? And actually, yes, there is an easier way to handle this, and it's probably the preferred way. So what we're going to do is, instead of jumping into that pit and risking our lives, we're going to throw a spear really low on that first block. Like really, really low as it possibly can go. As you can see, I kind of messed it up here. It takes a couple of tries to get it, but you're going to have to get it as low as possible without it breaking. About right there. And when you do that, you're going to climb on top of the spear, and you're going to throw a charged spear throw, so that way the hitbox will connect with the skeleton, and you can take him out that way. And it's a lot easier than the other way. Or you can do the way I did it in the main run, where I just took the hit and let the hammer take care of business. You can do that. Either way, the hammer or that spear throw thing is probably the best way to handle this situation, because the other way is really taxing on the memory. I mean, seriously, it really hurts my head to think about it. Same thing here, all you have to do is just drop down and hold down, and you'll go right through all those boards. So this next part is not easy, at least for me. What you're going to need to do is face opposite of where the spears are, so that way they don't hit you, and to do that you need to hit the direction opposite of where you want to go. So if you want to go to the left, you hit right, and if you want to go right, you hit left. And the last one's the doozy of the entire thing, which I have to take a while to work up the nerve to go. So that's how much of a doozy it is. So up here with this flesh wound, we're going to throw a spear into him, and we're going to let him walk to the edge of the platform and let him turn around. And as soon as he reaches the end, we're going to jump, so that way we time it so that we'll land on top of the spear. And we can get that chest that's up here. And that about does it for this video. Hope to catch you next time. See ya.